All right, welcome back to the Fight Talk. Today I am joined by Overtflow. How are you doing, brother?
Yo, it's Overtflow. What's going on, you guys? How's everything going? I'm super excited to be here on this interview. Super realistic YouTube intro. Please drop 100,000 likes on this. I would appreciate it. 100,000 likes, or I'm gonna fight KSI at the next event, and you guys don't want that, so please get these likes up. I appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. We need KSI to keep his record safe. So make sure you guys listen to him. Make sure you subscribe, like. But anyways, bro, it's been a while since I last talked to you. Last time I
Yes, sir.
talked to you, it was after KSI versus Space Temper. Now, in
Mhm.
about a week or so, we have the Kingpin event coming up. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I want to say thank you for having me on. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming on.
Um,
Thank you for coming on.
Of course, bro. Of course. Yeah, the Kingpin event looks great. Obviously, I'm involved somewhat. I talked with the guys. They actually hit me up a while back about fighting on it, but I was a little bit too heavy.
Yeah.
They hit me up. So funny story. They hit me up a while ago. Maybe it got to be 4, 5, 6 months ago, something like that, asking what my fighting weight was, and I told them, and they were like, "Okay, we'll get back to you." And then I never really heard from them. And then they announced this Kingpin thing. So I guess I was supposed to be one of the guys.
Oh
And
wow.
when I found that out, I returned fire, hit them up, and said, "Hey, man," because apparently I was 5 pounds over the weight for what they wanted. I called
Right.
them back. I said, "Hey, just seen that you launched this Kingpin thing. Just so you know, I can make that weight. I'll cut another 5 pounds. No issue for me." And so they told me, "Yeah, well, we'll put you on the reserve fighters list." I guess they have a small group of reserve fighters in case something goes wrong or something goes
Yeah.
awry. Obviously, you just saw Blueface got announced against Ed Sheeran or whatever his name is. So,
Yeah, Ed
uh,
Matthews.
yeah, that guy. So apparently, they're gonna have me on that short list in case they need another wild card fight or something like that. And they did invite me to come out and to talk on their Twitter Spaces and stuff. So I am involved in this space, obviously, but I won't be making it out to this first one, unfortunately. I wanted to see
Ah,
FaZe Jarvis win it all. Obviously, that's my guy. FaZe
yeah.
K, FaZe Jarvis, literally like some of my close friends in the community. I'm not super close with a ton of people, but I would consider myself to be very close with K and Jarvis. I'll be in New Orleans for Misfits 6. So I won't even have time, even if I book the fastest flight on the fastest jet, I won't even have time to watch Misfits on Friday night and then be out there Saturday night for the event. So I'm gonna be watching it though. I'm gonna be watching it through whatever model they have it on. As a pay-per-view model for this or something? I don't know. Hopefully they send me
I
a
think
link.
I have no idea actually, and I don't think they've advertised how you can watch it. Hopefully, you'll be there in the next event. I think it's in Dublin. Pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna try to make that one 100%. I definitely promise to not illegally stream this on TikTok. You know.
Bro. So we have so many fights coming up for the Kimping tournament. I'm so excited for it. In fact, I finally got my press passes, getting ready to go to it.
Awesome, bro.
First time got my press passes, looking forward to it. So many fights coming up. We have got Kenny versus my mate Nate. Let's talk about that. My mate Nate has been underrated in this whole Kingpin tournament. People not really understanding how capable he is.
Mhm.
What do you make of this fight? Do you think it's a challenge for Kenny, or do you think Kenny's gonna walk through him?
Okay, so I actually had never heard of this My Mate Nate guy. But after talking with Face Sensei and seeing what he had to say about it, I think that Nate's obviously is going to pose a big problem. I think that Kenny's very good, man. But obviously, we saw with him versus Ashley Raxu, he seemed a little gun shy, right? He seemed a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
gun shy. So either that's gonna, to me, and I don't know enough about My Mate Nate to really give you a firm answer on this. I like King Kenny a lot. I really do like him, no matter how many times he's tried to call me out through Twitter. King Kenny, I'm gonna beat you up when I see you, but in real life, dude. Okay. But to me, I like King Kenny a lot, man. I hope that he wins. I hope that he wins. But I think from the last fight, you're either going to have him kind of mentally struggle with pulling the trigger like he did. Maybe that could get to him,
Yeah.
or it's going to be completely the opposite, and he's going to come out guns blazing, trying to show what he has because he kind of dropped the ball a little bit in his last fight. I think that he had all the skills and tools to beat Ashley. Mainly because Ashley is a girl's name. So he really had no, I'm just kidding. But I thought that he had all the tools to beat Ashley Raxu.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
thought he was
definitely.
just gun shy, right? So I think that he should come out and want that W this time. I'm gonna put my money, my dollars, my pence, or whatever you guys use over there in England. I'm putting all my shillings on King Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Kenny is the first ever YouTuber I properly followed.
Oh, really?
And
That's
yeah,
cool.
man, I want him to win the whole tournament. Obviously, I love Jarvis so much. I love
Oh, that's
Gibb.
my guy.
That yeah, they're all really cool in this tournament. It's hard to pick who I want to win, but for me, Kenny was like you said, gun shy in that first
Mhm.
fight against Ashley Raksu, and it reminded me of Deji versus Wasabi when Deji just didn't throw enough.
Yeah, he's
Because
just a little
yeah,
gun shy.
yeah, he had everything in his like arsenal, but he just didn't utilize it the way he should have done it. And it's not his fault because he's been trained about the more traditional route. But for me, you know what? I think Kenny's gonna get the W as well. And speaking of, you know what? We got another fight coming up: Gibb versus Austin McBroom. Surprisingly, this is gonna be their first fight on Kingpin. What do you make
Mm.
of this?
Okay, another. You know what? I'm really so terrible at picking choices, but I am good at breaking things down. I think I could be totally wrong. I'm wrong a
Yep.
lot about a lot of things. But I mean, you got obviously Gibb won the last one, right? Knocked him down so many times. So that's going to give the mental edge to Gibb. He knows that he can do it, right? But
Yep.
on this flip side of that is when you beat somebody and then you have to fight them again, it almost gives you this extra pressure that you're not really it's like it gives you the mental edge, but it also gives you a pressure like you should beat them, right? And that could
Yep.
be a weird sort of mental pressure that almost might take away from your performance if you look at it the wrong way. So I think that Austin McBroom, I still think that Austin McBroom is much more physically gifted than Gibb. I think he's more a natural athlete, more so than Gibb is. Obviously, I think that some people have it, some people don't. It seemed like Austin picked it up quick. It seems like he moves very well. But Gibb is just a hard worker, man, and he's a great case of like, hard work beats talent when you're working hard, right? And so
Yep.
for me, if you had to ask me who I'm going with, and I actually like Gibb, I know Gibb, I don't really know Austin. I think that Gibb is just the hardest worker in the room in most rooms that he's in. So I'm gonna have to give it once again. It might be obvious, but because he beat him before, but I don't think that that means as much as people might give, as much as people might say. I think that it could work both ways. It could work out well for him, or it could really fuel that fire for Austin and make him come out there and take Gibb out because he almost did
Yep.
in that first round,
Yeah, he
right? Gibb
did.
had to get in
Yep.
the mindset, came out there, dropped him, and that will give up. But who knows? It could have gone different. He could have dropped him, and maybe the hit that he knocks him down with kept Gibb down. Who knows what could happen? But I'm going with Gibb personally.
For me, like I'm a bit scared actually about this fight for Gibb because I need him to, do the last aggressive fight he had. Sometimes he gets a bit too aggressive. We need to see him
Mm-hmm.
like lay up a bit, and also he needs to actually compose himself when he gets knocked down. Hopefully, he doesn't get knocked down this time, but that's something that his coaches need to work on him with. And now we have the next fight also coming up. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna put Kingpin aside for a second
Okay.
because today we have just been announced that Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul is confirmed Saturday, October 5th. This is a fight everyone's been talking about for God knows how long, and it's finally here. What do you make of it?
Mm-hmm. Bro, I actually just finished a podcast with some legendary guys. Ken Shamrock, he was a UFC champion,
Wow.
WWF superstar. So him and I have a podcast together. We work on he has a bare knuckle fighting league called Valor, and I am involved with that. So we just finished a podcast. We talked about this thing for like a half an hour. I have to say, bro, this is exciting. Everybody wanted to see the Tommy Fury thing, but to me, I don't feel I felt that Jake needs a little bit more time before he fights Tommy Fury again. I think
Yep.
this is a perfect thing to hop back in the middle. Nate is obviously very accomplished in jiu-jitsu, but he's very known for his almost unorthodox striking. His Stockton slaps, of course, I think that this is a great fight for Jake. I think it's exciting. I think this is one that's when you look at the fights, I think that this is going to be one that sells a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of eyeballs on it, and I think it's a fun, good fight. I'm super duper excited about Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul. And maybe on the undercard, who knows? Maybe Nick Diaz hops on there. He fights me in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a little bit of submission grappling.
Who knows? Who
Introduce the
knows?
fans to that. Who knows what could happen? Who
Well, we've
knows,
seen
bro?
what's
But
happened with influencer boxing in general. Anything is possible. So, I
anything
mean,
is possible.
yeah.
I think that it's the perfect time too. If we're talking about Jake Paul being involved in MMA, fighting MMA fighters, I think that the audience now is more primed and ready for more combat sports. I think that now people know, like, imagine this, bro. If KSI would have been able to fight Dylan Dennis, everybody knew that Dylan Dennis is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Everybody from this community of influencer boxing knows that I'm black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm not a boxer, which
Yeah.
explains some of my performances. But imagine KSI fought Dylan Dennis, and then the next event, imagine me versus Dylan Dennis as co-main event in jiu-jitsu. I think that the audience is ready to see more combat sports. And that to me would be exciting. I just want to see MMA. I want to see submission grappling. I want to see kickboxing. I want to see all the influencers try out more sports, combat sports, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Jake. He's he's gonna be part of the PFL now, which is
exactly
a big thing that's gonna come up. And hopefully, we never know, he could be fighting on the PFL. And
so I'm going to show you this.
Introducing people.
This is just between you and I don't show anybody this, but if you go ahead and look at the hold on, wait, 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down, you might be able to see that. Can you see who that is?
There's not really, bro.
Wait. Tell me, maybe. Hold on.
Just see a bunch of white letters. Yeah, it's blurred.
Too blurry.
Yeah,
too blurry. Hold on. Maybe what if we do this? If we do this, oh, whatever. It's Nick Diaz's number. Okay, I've been talking with him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm meeting up with Keemstar in a few days, and we're gonna go over some of these things because, as you may or may not know, Happy Punch is running the preliminary event for Misfits 7. So we're putting on 5 free fights on YouTube, and we're trying to make them as viral, as entertaining as possible. Obviously, the biggest one that everybody's talking about, the biggest one, Wings of Redemption versus Boogie, 2 internet legends. These are guys that have probably billions of views on them. If you don't know their names, you definitely know their faces. One is a legend in the video game world, and one is a legend just in like YouTube, social media in general.
Yeah. So
we're flying out next week, and me and Keem are flying out to film part of this documentary with them next week, and they're one of the guys that are fighting on our Happy Punch event. We're gonna try to get me versus another maybe UFC champion or famous UFC guy in submission grappling. All right. And we're trying to make this just a viral event in the build up to KSI versus Joe Fournier or whatever his name is.
I'm trying to get out to that fight as well. Tickets, I'm pretty sure they're sold out. I haven't got tickets, so I'm gonna try and get
your media, bro. Your media.
Yeah, bro. I've never gone to I've never gone as media before, so Kingpin's gonna be my first time.
Hey, bro, your media now, just because you haven't gone before, who you are now is not based on who you were yesterday, bro. You are media now. If you're at Kingpin as media, you can be at Misfits as media.
Facts, bro. Facts. I don't know how to get into the media, like in terms of getting their contacts and stuff. So I'll try to figure it out later somehow.
It's all networking, bro. Honestly, man, show up, show them your credentials, meet with somebody, see if you can get a business email from one of the DAZN people. If I'm there and I'm around, I'll try to help you out as well, man. But it's all connections, for sure, man. You're doing great. I've been seeing I see you post about all this. I see your interviews and stuff, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course, bro. And
wow.
If you're in Kingpin as media, there's no reason not to have you in Misfits as media, So I think that
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Yes, sir. Of course.
And speaking of JJ versus Joe, this is gonna be a fight that I think is really gonna test JJ. And it's a fight that, to be honest, a lot of people are saying that Joe isn't the best of the fighters out there that JJ could have picking. What do you think about this fight? Do you think KSI is gonna knock him out?
JJ is another person that I consider like a good friend. So obviously I'm always going to root for JJ. I'm always in JJ's corner, right?
For sure.
And I do think that he's going to beat Joe Fournier, but I do want to give a little pushback on people saying, oh, he could find a better fighter or whatever. Joe Fournier might not be as known in the community as somebody like a Nate Diaz is or whatever, but he is much more on the boxing side of things, right? So I think that KSI is smart with this just because he's not as much of a name fighter. I would like him to, I think that JJ versus, if we want to talk about that, JJ could go the path of Jake Paul and be fighting more known fighters who are less boxing experienced, but I think he's actually has a pretty tough fight, a harder fight than a lot of, Jake Paul's opponents in the boxing realm. I think that Jake's fighting tough guys like Tyron Woodley, a tough guy, not a tough boxer, right? A little bit of a difference there. So I do think that this is a big plate for JJ to eat off of. Is that the right term? Is there too much on his fork that he's eating? Is there too much dip on his chip? Possibly.
Maybe.
But I do think that it is a good test. And I do think that JJ is going to win. And I do think that Joe is a much tougher opponent than people might be giving him credit for. But for some reason, the YouTube boxing community is almost like they're too involved in the space and they kind of overestimate the abilities and stuff of some of these guys or underestimate other people. We have to remember too that Joe's coming from the professional fighting world, and even JJ we're all just amateur boxers, man. Just because, you know, it might be all the boxing that somebody watches, they need to broaden their horizons and really see we're all really just amateurs, and to kind of give us a little bit of leeway on the people that we're fighting, the people that we're dealing with, you know, for all the crap that I get from people for losing to face temper on a 4-day notice, a 4-day notice matchup. You know, I took that fight on Monday, I fought on Saturday, for all the crap that I get for that. But then you put me over there on like Ludwig's chess boxing event, and you saw how I handle a guy who had 6 months of training. It's a way big difference between the Misfits boxers and other influencer boxing types, right? I think that over at Misfits, we take it a lot more serious, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, no matter how serious we take it compared to Mogul Moves or compared to whatever other influencer fight league, creator clash, whatever other things there are, at the end of the day, everybody involved in this space is an amateur, bro. So you have to allow us the room to learn and the room to grow. I have 3 boxing fights in front of millions of people, right? And I've only had less than 2 months of boxing in my whole life. So I'm brand new, dude. I'm brand new, man. So yeah, everybody has to give us that leeway and that respect us to understand that you're watching us learn how to box in real time, bro. You know, so for KSI to fight a guy who's been professionally boxing for years and years and years and years is actually insane. To have Jake Paul beat a guy who's been a professional combat sports athlete for 20 years when he only started doing it 3 years ago is insane, you know? So people, I really think that people need to put some respect on my name and the name of all of us.
Yeah, bro, definitely. I want to touch on a few things. First of all, massive respect that you fought face temper on those 4 days' notice, because like anyone could have just said, no, I'm not fighting, didn't have enough time. But
and that's what most people do. There was 5 other people in the lineup and they all said no. So, and here I am coming off my couch playing Warzone every day. 4 days notice. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah. And it was an amazing event as well. That event was amazing.
I thought Misfits 3 was great. Yeah, Misfits 3 was super good.
It's a shame. I wish I could make it out to all of these events.
Yeah, you will soon, bro. You keep this up, man. You'll be at all the events.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Because bro, I love what Misfits have done. I love what Jake Paul, MVP Promotions have done. The fact that everyone has all come together as a community, and that boxing, influencer boxing as well, has just like been on the rise. It's really increased the attention of different people, you know, my age, 15-year-old, 14-year-old. So I think it's a very good thing.
How old are you?
15.
Oh, nice, bro. Yeah, dang, you're getting early. So I didn't even start YouTube until I want to say I started watching YouTube videos when I was 17 or 18. I don't even think that I made content until I was maybe 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
So, bro, you're starting early, 15. My little brother is 15 as well, man. And he, I'm trying to get him more on the content train. He's always been in my content, you know, on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. And bro, you're setting a great example, and you're starting early, bro. You'll be able to, dude, think about, like, I know it seems far away for you now, but by the time 18 rolls around, you're going to be not only asking for media at events, but people are going to be wanting to invite you out to the events to do the interviews, man. And I think that you're doing a great job, bro.
Thank you, bro. It's like, it's support like this that makes you just want to keep going on and on and on, because I love doing interviews and stuff.
Yeah, no, you do great. You're doing great, bro. I didn't know you were 15. That's crazy. That's amazing.
Thanks, bro. Also want to touch up on another thing. You said that Jake has been picking people who have like their toughness, they're aggressive. Do you think that Jake all this time has been picking people like Tyron Woodley who have a dog mentality, and not telling anyone that he's actually secretly training for KSI, who has a dog mentality, if you think about it like that? Because if JJ has that dog mentality, and people are saying that, oh, look, Jake is fighting these professional fighters, but inside, these professional fighters have the dog mentality. KSI is going around the professional route by fighting Joe. So what do you think about that?
That's an interesting way to put it. I do want to say something about this, and this meaning no offense to anybody here, but I think that Nate Diaz has the biggest dog mentality of anybody that Jake has fought. Like, you look at somebody like Tyron, right? You look at somebody like Tyron Woodley, and Tyron was never really known for his dog mentality, right? It was actually almost the opposite. And Tyron's even come out and talked about that himself. He's talked about it in interviews before where he feels that sometimes he's gun shy. He said, he's like, I know that I have power, but for some reason I feel like I feel like I'm mentally shackled. I can't throw my hands, and it's something that I've been working on. That's something that he's said in interviews before. And so I actually think of all the people that Jake has fought, I would say that Nate has the biggest dog mentality, and this might sound crazy. JJ might even have a bigger dog mentality. Like the things that I've seen JJ do, and I've known JJ since 2016, bro.
Yeah,
2015,
yeah,
2016. So for a long time, the things that he's done and the accomplishments that he has is all driven by like sheer willpower. It's actually insane how much of a dog JJ is. We say that he's a dog, whatever, but okay, so I'm black belt in jiu-jitsu. I did some like amateur MMA, whatever. I will tell you for a fact, if there's two guys and one has been training for 6 months and one guy has been training for 3 years, but the 3-year guy doesn't have the same dog mentality that the 6-month guy has,
yeah,
the 6-month guy is actually harder to deal with. And people know that so much stuff is mental, right? People know, oh, it's 90% mental, 10% physical, whatever. People know stuff like that. Oh, here's a perfect example. There's a kid who's been training, I don't know how long, maybe a year. He's a 4-stripe white belt in jiu-jitsu, which is like relatively new. White belt is the first belt that you get walking off the street, but it takes about a year or year and a half to get your blue belt if you're training consistently. This kid is about to get his blue belt, and I train with him almost every day, and he's just as tough to train with as some of these like blue belts and purple belts that just don't have his same mentality, man. And so that goes to show you how far like a mental can get you. And for example, I train with a lot of guys from UFC. I train with a lot of MMA fighters. I'm very accomplished like in that realm. I would say even out of the YouTube boxing community, I'm one of the most accomplished fighters. I'm just not one of the most accomplished boxing guys, obviously. But as far as that, I'm a combat sports expert, whereas almost everybody else in the scene is more of a combat sports amateur, right? So I can really break down these things a little bit better. And that dog mentality gets people a lot further than people might give credit to. So JJ, even though Jake might have a higher skill level in boxing, compared to JJ's willpower and his heart, his determination, I think actually evens it out a lot more than people might think.
So that said, do you think as of right now, KSI beats Jake?
As of right now, I mean, I think that KSI came out and he even said that Jake would beat him right now, and that's why he wanted to take a couple more fights before then. So I'm going to go with what JJ says, and I'm going to say, yeah, I do think that Jake Paul is a higher skill level right now today.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means that Jake necessarily beats JJ today. I think that if they were to fight, like I said, that skill level, that skill gap is almost a little bit it's minimized by the fact that JJ is such a tough guy with a lot of heart, and he does know how to box. Just because Jake's a little bit more technical doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to win. If they were to fight this week, maybe Jake wins, but I think that it's much closer than people think.
Yeah, definitely. Now I want to ask you a few questions to your own boxing career and the influencer boxing scene. Out of all of the fighters you have fought, who would you say is the hardest hitting puncher?
The hardest hitting puncher, I think that Sensei is the hardest hitting puncher. I think that Temper actually had more power than I expected.
Yeah.
And he was pretty accurate. He came out like out the gate and caught me like really clean. He came out the gate, caught me super clean on the chin and had like good power behind it, man. But I do think that Sensei is the hardest hitter, and then right under that would be Temper, and then Chris Broad, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. And now also, let's say you get back into the ring. Is there a dream opponent you want to fight? It doesn't have to be an influencer, just anyone. A dream opponent.
Okay. This is fun. So does it have to be boxing, or can I kind of expand a little bit on that?
You can expand as much as you want.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. I really think that when I fight again, I either want to fight for the belt, right? I want the hardest fight, I want the belt, or I want the easiest fight for the biggest bag, bro. Give me Ashley Raxu for the belt, or give me Andy Worski for the title of the baddest of the bads boxers guy. I want a belt that says the worst boxer. That's what I want. All right. Those are the two.
Interesting.
Hey, man, I either want the toughest fight or the easiest one, man. That's why would I want anything else, man? But as far as the whole boxing world, I just want somebody that makes sense. Honestly, I took the fight against Faye Sensei back in the day because it was like such a crazy card. It was more of a entertainment value card for the fans. Jake was taking it serious. KSI was taking it serious. Logan took it serious. Deji took it pretty serious. And other than that, the card was just filled with like kind of gamer kids and stuff like that. Obviously, Gib was on there. Hello Ham was on there. Me versus FaZe Sensei was a fight on the original Logan Paul versus KSI card that was actually legitimate as far as our skill level in our respective combat sports, right? All the other people were kind of just coming off playing games or being professional gamers. Me and Sensei kind of legitimized the card in a way because we were actually real martial artists, you know?
Yeah.
Granted, from different disciplines, but I do think that we really helped legitimize that card. And as far as today is concerned, I took the fight with FaZe Sensei. I fought FaZe Temper on 4 days notice because it made sense, right? I'm from the gaming community. I'm close with a lot of the FaZe boys. I've done a lot of work with these guys. So to me, it was cool to be like, yeah, I fought FaZe Clan owner and I fought FaZe Sensei. And it just made a lot of sense. Actually, funny story. They actually offered me Salt Poppy before they came out with Temper. And I said yes to that. I said yes to fighting Salt Poppy on 4 days notice, which a lot of people don't know. And then they switched it and said FaZe Temper instead. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. My goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pappy,
so a lot of people.
Pappy is probably my favorite influencer boxer.
Oh, he's the man, bro. He's actually the man. I love Salt Poppy. And obviously he's on Happy Punch as well. He's on Team Happy Punch. So, but we were willing to do it to save that event. And so right now, I would love to fight like maybe another guy from FaZe Clan gets in there. I think that it just makes sense for our communities because we're all from the gaming community to keep that gaming community strong, a fight for the fans. Maybe I fight Jarvis's older brother Frazier. Maybe me versus FaZe K would be a fun one. I know some guys from Nuke Squad have been boxing as well. We got like FaZe Santana boxing. Maybe me versus him. Something in the gaming community is like what I'm most interested in because that's where my roots are, right? I got popular for playing Call of Duty. I'd love to do that. If we're branching out beyond that, I would love to maybe Jake Paul's first fight in the PFL. I make perfect sense. I'm from the influencer boxing side.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm a grappling expert, right? Maybe me versus him could be a fight that his team recognizes as like, okay, this is from the influencer world. We got the full power of all of them, that community behind us. I'm a legitimate guy in the MMA space. My boxing is not as good as Jake's, but his grappling is not as good as mine. So maybe that could be something that makes sense. It's a good fight for them. Maybe a winnable fight in their eyes. And it's a winnable fight in my eyes. So I think that would be really cool. And then if we talk about broadening the horizons of the audience and showing them a little bit more combat sports, I'd love to grapple with somebody like a Nick Diaz or maybe one of these guys. I'd love to grapple with Dylan Dennis if he didn't pull out. I'd love to grapple with a UFC fighter on one of these events. I think that could easily be, a 5-minute match, submission only. Like you have to get choked unconscious to lose. That could easily co-headline one of the Misfits events, in my opinion. So
something different.
Who knows? Something
it's called
different.
Misfits for a reason. Misfit, like that's how it's meant to be.
100%, man. I think that could be awesome. Maybe that could even be a what is the term that I'm looking for? A mixed sort of match. I can't think of the word. Why can I not think of the word?
Is it mixed team?
Could be not a mix, like a hybrid event of sorts. Maybe we have boxing gloves, but grappling is also allowed. Maybe something like that could take place in a Misfits. You know what I mean? Maybe we have the grappling gloves on, but you're also allowed to, do some grappling. Of course, that would be hindered by the gloves, but I think you could get a lot of situations, some dirty boxing, a lot of clinches, maybe a little takedown, full mount, ground and pound. Maybe they could sanction something like that for an exhibition fun match. I'd be super down to do something like that as well. But I'm just open to it, man. I don't have any contracts inked up, nothing done. So I'm available. Obviously, I consider Misfits to be my home because I feel like I helped start the influencer boxing thing with FaZe Sensei and KSI. There was
100%.
a lot of stuff like that. And so Misfits is always going to be my home. Obviously, Happy Punch is partnered with them. My company, Happy Punch, is partnered with KSI, is Misfits, and Misfits. Me and Keem partnered with them. I always will consider that to be the home base. But if Kingpin was to come out and ask me to be on the card or something like that, definitely I would love to participate in that. I'm just really available, man. I want to be part of the most fun events. That's what I'm here for, the entertainment. Even when I lose, I feel like it's entertaining. That Temper versus me clip gets played on every YouTube compilation I see. So clearly it had some entertainment value behind it,
Anyway, bro, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Of course.
It's like, honestly, I really appreciate you. One of the OGs on this influencer boxing scene. And the fact that you're on my channel, it's a dream come true because you're one of the OGs, one of the persons who actually made this whole thing happen. So
hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you having me on, bro.
no, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Trust me.
Of course,
Anyway,
man. Of course.
anyways, guys, make sure you follow Overt's Instagram. I'll leave everything to his social media in the description in the description below. And is there any final words you want to say to all of your fans out there?
I would love to. What is happening out there? I would let there's police outside. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I just appreciate you having me on, man. And whether you like it or not, I'm beyond the future Misfits events. I probably have 2 or 3 fights lined up for this year. I'm gonna keep doing it until I get good at boxing one day. You know, I didn't get good at jiu-jitsu and MMA overnight. It took me years and years and years, bro. So just because you guys saw the first like 2 months of me boxing doesn't mean it's the end. For me, this is just the beginning. I literally just started learning how, especially lately with all these Misfit stuff. I'm really trying to get a little bit better at it now. And I'm excited to get back in the ring. Win or lose, I just want to be entertaining. You know, that's all I care about is that I have fights that are memorable, that are entertaining. And I'm excited to get back in there. And I'm excited to see where you go. I'm excited to see you at the next Misfits event, all these 100%. Fights, bro. I'm excited. You're doing great with the interviews, bro.
I appreciate it.
I think you do a really good job, dude. You do better than a lot of these guys that are 25 that've been doing it for a long time, man. So I can only imagine where you'll be in the next few years, bro. Keep it up.
Thank you. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you, Overtflow, for coming on.
Yes, sir.